This is Akamori, aka Hope, and I have something very special for you guys today. Today I'm going to be doing a review of the live action Bleach movie that I had watched a while ago. And yeah, so I am going to be doing a bit of a critique with this. Not only am I going to be reviewing the live action movie, but I'm also going to compare it with the anime and whatnot. The manga and anime um, creator is Taite Kubo. I think that's how you say his name. It's a really good anime. I definitely recommend watching it, even if you have only seen the live action movie. It's definitely it's a really good anime to watch. The director of this movie was is Shin, Shinsuke Sato. I guess that's how you say the name. I'm not too good at saying these names. The live action movie was released July 20th, 2018. You can see it on Netflix and other various streaming websites, although I don't think it's on Hulu or HBO Max. And the anime was released September 9th, 2006. And yeah, the this next line is just reiterating what I had just said. And then right here is a picture of the original anime itself. Sorry if it's not the best quality. I just found these pictures on Google. And then right here's a picture of the live action movie that I seen. So basically, the story is about a character named Ichigo Kurosaki, and he he's a 16-year old high school student, and basically his life is completely changed because he gets powers to be able to help his family and whatnot. I'm also not trying to be. I don't want to spoil anything from the anime or the movie, so I'm not going to go too deep in the story for the most part. This here says that Ichigo's the main character. He goes to Karakura High School along with Orihime Inoue. I think that's her name. Uryu Ishida. He actually kind of met him. I thought he met him in the anime, but I guess that's one of the liberties that the live action movie takes. And yeah, and then that part there I just already said earlier. The Soul Society is briefly shown in the live movie. Um, it's not too much shown, but the stuff that they do show looks pretty cool. Characters, both in the anime and the movie, uh, basically a lot of the characters I just mentioned are in the movie. I don't think there's really anyone who is not included. For the most part, there are like a lot of captains that are not included. But in the very beginning of the anime, you don't really see them until Ichigo actually goes into the Soul Society. And then right here, I'm just listing off all the different ones, and we'll go into those characters now. So this here's about Ichigo, and I have a couple pictures of him. Right here's the live action movie of him. They did pretty good, but his hair's kind of more on the brown side. But you know, it still looks pretty good. And then right here's another picture of him. I actually didn't know that that was him until like I heard his voice. The dub they did actually get the voice actors for the characters. And then right here's a anime picture of Ichigo, like his full body, and then another one. And you see how it's like really orange in the anime, but then again, in the anime, you can easily get very, very orange hair. So, you know, it's not so easy in real life. so it's okay. There's Rukia. She is the first Shinigami we see, and she is the one that helps out Ichigo. Basically, Shinigamis are also known as balancers, and also they're basically guides to the Soul Society. And that's where people who have passed on go. Some people are left behind, and they become. Some of them can become hollows if they stay too long. There's like more about that. Actually, Ricky actually explains it fairly early in the movie and in the anime as well. And I'll probably go over a little bit of that later on with some of the extra stuff. Right here's a picture of Rikia from the anime. It's a really cool picture. Although I'm not too sure if that's from the anime or if it's from the fan fiction type thing. I think it might be from the anime. Then right here's a live picture of her. Right there's her Shinigami outfit. They did pretty well on the Shinigami outfits and stuff. They look fairly accurate for the most part. And then there's her school uniform. And there's Renji. He's basically the one that fights Ichigo. There's a little bit more backstory about him. He's basically a lieutenant in Byaku Yakuchi's squad, and I'll be talking about him in a little bit. Right here's the live action version of him. They did pretty well. His hair looks pretty red. I was able to tell who he was right away. Some characters I could not tell. And then here's a picture of him from the show. And notice you can barely see it right there. There's a tattoo right there. Yeah, he has them on the sides and also on his hands too, I think. And right here is Ishin Kurosaki, Ichigo's dad. He is very whimsical in the anime. Like there's like a lot of times that I like just burst out laughing at some of the different things he has said and done. You can kind of see it in the live action thing. So right here is a picture with him and Ichigo. Just looking at this, I probably would have never knew that was Ichigo because of the hair, but it still looks good. That looks like as if Ichigo were real. Just really cool. And then the person that his dad also looks really nice too. You'll notice he's wearing an apron. If you've ever like watched the anime, you like know that he does not cook. He is a doctor though, which is really cool and very accurate for the most part. I think. I don't know if they touched on his job. And then right here's a picture of him in the anime that is literally a scene from the anime itself. He's punching Ichigo. You can see him in his lab coat here. And yeah, then here's what Ichigo sometimes will wear to school. He has a satchel bag. I think later on he changes this one out for one that he holds. So one of the other pictures, I think, one of the other ones where he's like holding a bag does look accurate, which is cool that they do have that. Yuzu and Karin, I don't know if I spelled those right or not. Those are Ichigo's sisters. Oh, that's a spelling error. Oops. That's supposed to be can. They can kind of sense spirits, but later on they do get the ability to see spirits. And also with Orihime and Chad, I don't think I mentioned them in this one. I guess I must have forgotten to mention them, but they're two of Ichigo's friends. He's best friends with Chad, and Chad's pretty tall, and I think they got them. I was able to recognize them, so that's a good thing. The only person I wasn't able to recognize is Orihime's. Well, she's still Ichigo's friend as well, but she mainly hangs out with Orihime, and I forgot her name, but she has like purple hair, and she does like martial arts, and she's like crazy strong and will defend you if you need be. Here says Yuzu is usually. Oh yeah, that's right. She's the one cooking. She's usually the one cooking in the family. Right here's a picture of them. I think this is actually later on in the anime. Actually, I'm not going to spoil it. You see a long lost relative, and then right here's their live action parts. I couldn't exactly recognize them, but once I heard the voices, I immediately recognized them. So it was still good, and their acting was really good for kids. Also see why they had Ichigo's dad cooking, because they probably did not want to have the kids rehearsing any kind of cooking, because they're probably too young to know how to cook, or their parents did not want them to get hurt, or the studio didn't want them to get hurt. Right here's Byakuya Kuchiki. Some of that might be a little bit misspelled too. He's one of the squad members, and he is also Rukia's brother. Well, Rukia was adopted into the Kuchiki family. There's like a whole backstory to that. Um, he's seen more in the anime than the movie, which kind of makes sense because the movie's an hour or so long. So they only have so much that they can fit into there. Uh, oh, this is also another misspelling. I meant to put a W after the word show. Um, yeah, sorry about that. But basically, what I was trying to say is that I think they do show him in the first fight with Renji. Right here's a picture of him in the movie, and then right here's a anime picture. He has this scarf on, so I wasn't able to see the back of the captain's logo, but for the most part, the hair and everything seems like it's very very accurate. This tie right here is probably a they did a liberty with that because the cloak was too like flowy in the wind and whatnot. I also noticed certain fight scenes happened in certain areas that would have been completely different from the anime. That I think, and also times of day too. I think some of those are a little bit different. Right here's Urihara. He's the shop owner of Urihara shop, and oh, I'm sorry. And then right here's a live action of him. His outfit right here is green. It's a bit darker than what you can tell. And then this here's brown. That's kind of interesting that they did that. But for the most part, he already had a natural hairstyles, hair color, so it was probably pretty easy for them to do. Oh yeah, that's the inside of a shop. It probably does look like that in that one room. His shop basically looks like a traditional Japanese shop on the outside, the inside, the front of it still looks like that. It looks like a candy shop. They did a really good job with the places. I think they did a very good job. They're very accurate, and it was so cool seeing them live. Except for I think Byakuya's room, or like one of the rooms that he's mainly in. But it was real life, so they had to. They also had a budget too, so you can't just easily pull things out of thin air. And then right here's a anime picture of him. It's a little bit hard to see, but those are white. Those are drawn on. Um, those you can't see down there, but they are white as well, which is cool. But however, he's supposed to be black, but everything else for the most part seems to be pretty good. And then he does have the clogs too, I think. He does have a cane in it, and that there's just a sword released. He has a cane in the anime too, so that's accurate. And then right here's about Grandfisher, one of the hollows. Grandfisher is a powerful hollow that is defeated by Ichigo after he gets stronger, which means Ichigo had to train a little bit, which was accurate because in the anime he definitely did need to get stronger to fight him. The hollows in the anime do look pretty cool. I don't know if this year's like a bit of a liberty and also kind of accurate because he does have fur all over him and whatnot. He can do some of those wispy hairy things to go and attack people. Right there's his lure. It's fully like it's kind of like out and revealed. It usually will have like a white cloak and it'll look like a girl or something like that, which they both had gotten. And yeah, the reason why hollows are called hollows is because their heart used to be right here and it falls out. They were a person first, and basically, once they lose their heart, they become a hollow, and white stuff spews out of their face, basically, like out of the mouth, eyes, ears. I think just everywhere, and a mask forms, and they basically become a hollow, and then Soul Reapers like Ichigo, Rukia, the others will basically slice down them, and if they were not a very bad person, they will go on to the Soul Society. But if they have done very heinous things or have done very bad things as a hollow, then they will go to basically a place called Hell. A big gate with doors on it appears, and then like there's two skeletons on it, and it opens the door up, and then a pole comes out of it, and it either impels the hollow or it goes through their hole right here. And I think this here's the last. Oh no, I have one more slide after this one. Also, yeah, never mind. All right, Shinigami and captains. In the Soul Society, there are people who lead souls. They're called Shinigami, and they have lieutenants to direct the squads, and there are captains as well. So basically, the place there's actually there's like two different parts of the Soul Society for the most part. I didn't get a picture of this, but I should have. You basically have a big giant ring, and inside of that ring you have, or you, like I guess a pretty well sized ring. Inside that ring you have the Serite, and there is a gate that will drop down when intruders are there. And then basically, when there are no intruders, you can see all the way into the Serite. You can see from inside the Serite out to the Rukon district, which I think that's what it's called. It's kind of like a more rural area and where poor people are. And basically, with that, you have well, I mean, like the Soul Society is kind of rich, but I'm not too sure. Well, yeah, of course. You have royal families that are rich. You have Shinigami that can be poor as well. But yeah, the common people are most likely gonna be out in the Rukon district, and they sort you by your birth date and your death date, I think, and your age. With that kind of thing, a lot of people do get separated from their families a lot of the time, so they wind up going into newer families. Um, it's kind of interesting to see if Ichigo will actually help out with something like that and majorly change the way the Soul Society does that. So people can actually get reunited with their families and be with their families, or if they want to. And I mean, like I can definitely just see Ichigo trying to help out with that, and Orihime as well. And then right here is a picture of Byakuya Kuchi, like the his full outfit, which looks pretty cool, but they don't exactly have splits on the side. The splits mainly in the back of the captain's jacket. Most of them are going to be lined, but for the most part, the basic shape is the exact correct shape. But they do have diamonds on the front. They have a diamond and then like an oval type thing as a pattern that alternates on the back on the bottom of it, and then up near the center of the back is going to be a diamond, kind of like a kind of almost like a football, kind of almost like a baseball field in a way. And then the inner corners are like filled in with a straight line. So like if you were to take a triangle and like put it in the corners, that's what that would look like. And it has the numbers in Japanese, 1 through 13. Right here is a picture of the Shinigami that shows actually a pretty good example of Kira. I think that's how his name is spelled. Said he's actually trying to tell these guys what to do. This is from the anime. This is also a pretty good idea of what one of the meeting or office rooms would look like. Sometimes they look like this. Sometimes they'll be like traditional Japanese. It just depends on the different captains. And the head captain actually has a very cool and spacious office. It's pretty cool, but I won't spoil that for you. And then here's the captains in a meeting room. You can see they have various different things. You can accessorize your outfit, which is really cool. Um, yeah, and yeah, this is the very last one. So I think Byakuya is. I think about right here. That's either going to be Byakuya or no. I think Aizen's on this side. So basically, you have the first squad. Right there's squad 2. Somewhere's going to be squad 3, and then it just like goes back and forth. So you got 10 right there. You got 12 right there. So the 11th squad captain would be somewhere on this side, I think, or on this side. Um, he is sometimes sick. So in that picture there, which is very early on in the anime, he didn't show up because of health issues. But at some point we do get to see him, and he looks pretty cool. And yeah, I think this is definitely the last slide for sure. So basically, to fill in some holes. Basic, 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 base, basically, Ichigo is the main character for the most part. He can definitely see, hear, and talk to spirits. His two little sisters can. One of them can't really. I don't think she can see spirits at all. For the most part, she can sense them, and then the other one can also kind of sense them, but I think she can see them a little bit. And yeah. Also, very early on in the anime and in the movie, Rukia does some really cute drawings of what the spirits are and what the hollows are. The way she described them was, I think, in a way, pluses and minuses. You have pluses, which are the spirits. I forgot what they were called exactly, and yeah, then you had the minuses, which are the hollows. The hollows also go and eat spirits. So yeah, I hope this was a pretty good overview of things. Now I'm gonna talk about my a little bit about stuff that I noticed immediately different from the anime. So like I don't know if they showed the city of Karakura Town in the anime, but it, it was it was really cool that they had showed the city and also the Soul Society. They showed an aerial view of both, which looked really cool and whatnot. And then also so yeah, in the very beginning, it's still like the same as the anime. There are three teenagers that were skateboarding, and they basically knocked over a vase, and you have Ichigo getting onto them about it because that was a vase of a little child who had passed on. In the anime, it's a girl. In the In the movie, it's a boy, which is kind of interesting. That was one of the things I immediately like noticed. The special effects in the anime were actually really cool. I didn't really like how Rukia said magic spell because it's not that. I'm like her hand sign was practically correct. It's either I think it's a restraining keto. Keto is magic. Basically, you have three different kinds. You have attacking, defense, and also healing. And basic, and then some subcategories like restraining keto. Like there's, I think it's Hado number 99. That one is actually a very powerful spell. You have a couple different parts to it. You have the first part, which summons like a white cloth that wraps around whatever you're targeting, and then you can then have pins shoved into that. If that does not work on keeping whatever it is down, they then can do leather straps that bind them to the ground, and then very heavy like weight type things that can be put down onto those straps to kind of keep whatever it is down. And then the very last thing is basically like a big block with a weapon type sword or something in it that they can summon and then slam down into it, and doing that will destroy whatever it is. It's a very powerful Hito, and you do actually get to see that in the beginning of the anime, not the movie. The movie stops at when Ichigo is in class for like one of the last times, but it does allude to him remembering Rukia. I'm not going to spoil too much of the story, but basically, Rukia was sent there on an assignment to observe the hollows. I also noticed they used some sort of rock gym thing with a 3D representation of the town and markers and stuff, which looked pretty cool. But she mainly had a soul pager, which looked like a flip phone for the most part. You know, so that was also one of the liberties, but it looked kind of cool. You know, it's going to be interesting to see what they could come up with for the rest of the show, if they are the ones to carry it on. And yeah. Um, I I hope y'all enjoyed this, and I'll 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 see y'all again either for the next class college project, or later on when I have better um, resources to be able to record myself playing games. See y'all later.